Sophie and Nick Sherratt. I love it because it's funny and every class I've read it to has enjoyed it too. One of my favourite books to read with my little girl at the moment is The Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. It's a story of a mischievous young rabbit who disobeys his mum and sneaks into Mr. McGregor's field and gets into a world of trouble. But how will he escape?
Hi everybody! I want to tell you about one of my favourite books. It's called The Day the Crayons Quit. Now this is all about a boy called Duncan who wants to do some colouring. But when he opens his box of crayons, all he finds are letters, each saying the same thing. We quit! What is Duncan to do?
Hi everyone, my favourite book is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I love this book because it's full of action and suspense, and I remember reading it for the first time when I was quite young with my dad and not wanting to go to sleep at night because I wanted to know what happened next. I also really enjoy the film of this book, and this illustrated version of the book, which I got for my birthday a few years ago, is my absolute favourite. It's fantastic and the artwork and pictures in it are just amazing. It makes the book even better.
One of my favourite books is The Snail and the Whale by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. A snail longs to see the world and hitches a lift on a whale's tail. Together they go on an amazing journey past icebergs and volcanoes, sharks and penguins, and the snail feels very small in the vastness of the world. But when the whale is beached in a bay, it's the tiny snail who saves the day. This book is a book about friendship and adventure, and if you haven't already read it, I would recommend it to you.
Hi boys and girls, my favourite book is Do You Do a Didgeridoo? It's written by Nick Page and illustrated by Sarah Baker. It's good fun, got lots of rhyming, so if you haven't read it, please do so. Happy reading!
Hi boys and girls, my favourite book is Beware of Storybook Wolves, and I love this because it takes all normal fairy tales and just turns them on their head, and it's really funny.
Hi everyone, I'm going to tell you about my favourite book. It's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I'm going to read you the blurb on the back. Harry Potter thinks he is an ordinary boy until he is rescued by an owl, taken to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, learns to play Quidditch and does battle in a deadly duel. The reason? Harry Potter is a wizard, and even if you've watched the films, read the book. It's much better, I promise.
My favourite book is called The Lonely Beast. This is a story about a beast who's determined to overcome his loneliness, so he goes on an adventure to find others just like him. He treks over mountains and swims across oceans until he arrives at a great city. There he finds many friends, but sadly no beasts, so he goes home and finds a great surprise.
Look at me now, said the cat, with a cup and a cake on the top of my hat. I can hold up 2 books, I can hold up the fish, and a little toy ship, and some milk on a dish.
Hello, my favourite book is The Squirrels Who Squabbled. 2 greedy squirrels, Cyril and Bruce, both try to get the last pine nuts of the season. Who will win this race? Will it be Cyril? Will it be Bruce? Will they realise they have to work together? There's only one way to find out. You'll need to read it. Bye.
Hi everyone. A book I like is Tom Gates' A Tiny Bit Lucky. Dad wants to make a kite so we can go out and get lots of fresh air. I wouldn't mind getting more fresh air if we had a dog. But that's not going to happen because Delia's allergic to dogs. I think I'm allergic to Delia. Me, Derek and Norman are planning some serious band practice for the Rock Weekly band battle. We've got loads of time, so I'm not panicking. Yet.
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know about my favourite story, There's a Bear on My Chair by Ross Collins. In our story, a tiny mouse finds a huge bear sitting in his chair. And then he has nowhere to sit.
My favourite book is The Wonky Donkey by Craig Smith and illustrated by Kat Cowley. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He listened to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelt really, really bad. And that morning he'd got up early and he hadn't had any coffee. He was a cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky donkey.
Hello everyone! Today I'm going to share with you my favourite book, and I'm so excited. It's called Little People, Big Dreams, and this one's about someone really special. His name is Martin Luther King Jr. As a child, the world Martin Luther King grew up in was deeply divided, and he knew he had to change it. Learning from the greats like Gandhi, Martin used words to touch people's hearts with love. Martin Luther King had a dream that everyone in society would be treated equal.
Hi boys and girls, it's World Book Day and I am going to read a short extract from a beautifully created book called Only Remembered, edited by Michael Morpurgo. This piece was written by Nick Sherratt, who's an illustrator. I have a sweet tooth and a bit of a fondness for jelly babies, but had no idea about their history until very recently I visited the Warports collection at Edinburgh, Napier University, Craiglockhart campus. I heard the curator mention how the sweets came into being. They were introduced in 1918 by the confectionery manufacturer Bassett's to mark the end of the war and were originally called Peace Babies, little symbols of hope for the next generation after years of horror. 2 decades passed, but production was halted at the outbreak of the Second World War. When the sweets eventually reappeared in the 1950s, they were, very sadly, not called Peace Babies anymore.
My favourite storybook is one called The Night the Stars Went Out, and it's by someone called Suze Hughes. I like this story because there's lovely pictures in it, and it's a really nice story all about friendship.
The Iron Child by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. Never trust a magician. Most kids Callum's age dream of having the natural talent for magic needed to get into the Magisterium. That's where they will learn to hone their skills and control their power in order to pass the first year's Iron Trial. Not Callum Hunt. Cal had been told his whole life he should never trust a magician, and so he tries his best to do his worst, but fails at failing. Now he must enter the dreaded Mysterium. It's a place that's both sensational and sinister, and Cal realises it has dark ties to his past and a twisty path to his future. The Iron Trial is just the beginning. Callum's biggest test is still to come. Read further. Enjoy.
The book I have chosen to share with you today is by Dr. Seuss, called Oh, the Places You'll Go. I love this book because it's about what happens in your life, that you'll have things that go well, you'll have things that don't go well, and it's the choices that you make and where you land up in life, and that everybody has an opportunity to go back and repair mistakes, to learn from mistakes, and make you a better person as you grow up. So the particular part I like, because it's a bit of a tongue twister, is the last page where it says, so, be your name Boxham or Bixie or Bray, or Mordecai Ali Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places, today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Have a read, it's worth it.
My favourite book is Jack and the Flum Flum Tree by Julia Donaldson. His granny has the measles, and Jack has to go to the Isle of Blow Your Nose to find the cure from the Flum Flum Tree.
Happy World Book Day! My favourite book I'd like to share with you is The Iron Man by Ted Hughes. You'll find it in our library in school.
The book that I'm going to speak about is a new one out, The Day I Fell Into a Fairy Tale. This book has you on the edge of the seat as it is so exciting.
Dogs by Emily Gravett. This is a fiction book. A fiction book's a storybook, and it's got really super illustrations, all about lots of different dogs. At the end there's a special twist. Have fun reading it.